welcome to your custom deep dive. You know, you might not realize this, but the most powerful tool you have for learning English isn't some heavy, boring grammar textbook.
No, definitely not.
It is actually exactly what you are doing right this very second. I mean, you are listening.
That is absolutely true. Listening really is your superpower.
Yeah.
And today, our mission is to show you exactly how to use that superpower.
Right. We want to show you how to learn English quickly.
Exactly. We are looking at a really great guide today. It is called Mastering English Through the Power of Podcasts. And we want to show you how to learn naturally just by using audio.
I really love this topic because, learning a language isn't about finding some sort of magic pill.
Oh, right. There is no magic pill.
No, there is no secret medicine that will make you speak perfectly by tomorrow morning. But the good news is it also doesn't mean you have to spend 10 boring years sitting in a classroom.
Thank goodness for that.
Right.
Right?
Real language learning is simply about training your ears.
Training your ears. I love that. Let's actually start right there. So the guide we are looking at has this great way of explaining why we really need to focus on our ears first, before we worry too much about all those confusing grammar rules.
Yeah, the guide says that grammar is just the skeleton of a language.
Right, the skeleton.
Grammar is just the bones. And of course, a body needs bones to stand up. But listening is the heart.
Oh, that is a great way to say it.
Yeah, the heart is what pumps the blood, and it actually gives the language life.
Exactly. And to show why this is so important, the guide talks about a student. His name is Leo.
Oh, Leo. I feel so bad for Leo.
I know, right? Leo represents a really common trap for adult language learners. He works incredibly hard. I mean, if you give Leo a written grammar test, he gets a perfect score every single time.
But Leo has a really big problem.
He does. He feels completely stuck.
Stuck. Let's talk about what that really feels like for a minute.
Yeah, please do.
So imagine you are driving a car, and you drive into some deep, wet mud.
Oh, that is the worst feeling.
It is. You push your foot down on the gas pedal. The wheels of the car, they spin very, very fast.
Right, spinning and spinning.
But the car doesn't move forward at all. You are using a whole lot of energy, but you are not going anywhere. That feeling is being stuck.
Yes. In learning, we actually call this a plateau.
Yeah.
You are putting in all this work, but your English level, well, it just isn't going up anymore.
So we have to look at why Leo hit this wall.
Exactly. The guide explains his mistake perfectly. Leo decided he really wanted to improve his listening, so you know what he did? He turned on the BBC News.
Oh, no. The daily news.
Yep.
I mean, I can completely understand why he would try that, but the news is incredibly difficult.
It is so difficult. Think about it. The news uses very complex formal words.
Very formal.
And they talk about difficult political topics. Plus, the news anchors speak very, very fast. Leo simply couldn't keep up.
Keep up. Let's make sure that phrase is clear. Keeping up means moving at the exact same speed as the speaker. If the speaker is running a marathon, well, your brain has to run a marathon to understand them. And if you can't keep up, you fall behind.
Which is exactly what happened to poor Leo. He couldn't keep up with the fast news, so he became really frustrated.
Yeah, and he gave up.
He did. He stopped listening after only 5 minutes. So this is where we really need to look at the science of learning.
Okay, let's look at the science.
Think about learning how to swim. You do not jump into the deep end of the swimming pool on your very first day.
No, absolutely not. You would panic.
Right, you would panic. You have to start in the shallow water, where your feet can actually touch the bottom.
Exactly. You have to learn how to float before you try to swim all the way across the ocean.
That is a perfect way to put it. And in language learning, that shallow water has a very specific name. It is called comprehensible input.
Comprehensible input. Okay, let's break those two words down.
Good idea.
Comprehensible means you can understand it. And input is just the information, like the audio or the text that is coming into your brain.
Yes, you absolutely need comprehensible input to grow.
So if you are listening to this audio session right now, what does comprehensible input actually look like for you? I mean, how much of the audio should you be able to understand?
Well, the golden rule from the guide is this. You should listen to English that is just a little bit harder than your current level.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too easy, or you won't learn anything new. And it shouldn't be too hard, or you will panic, just like Leo did. You want to understand about 80 to 90% of the words you hear.
Wait, really? Only 80 to 90%?
Yep, that is the magic number.
But that means you are missing 10% of the words. Doesn't that, cause problems?
Not at all. That is actually the most important part of the entire process.
Really?
Yes. If you understand 80 to 90% of a story, your brain will do something amazing. It will naturally guess the missing words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, your brain uses the context, which is the rest of the story, to just fill in the blanks.
Oh, I see. So if I say, it is raining outside, don't forget to grab your...
Your umbrella.
Right, because you understood the first part of the sentence. Your brain automatically knows the missing word is probably umbrella.
Exactly. Your brain just does the work for you naturally. So Leo's big mistake was trying to listen to the news, where he probably only understood maybe 30% of the words.
Yeah, 30% is not enough.
No. His brain didn't have enough information to guess the rest. He just didn't have comprehensible input.
That makes perfect sense. So, if the daily news on the radio is a bad idea for beginners, well, what should you actually use?
That is the big question.
You need audio that is made specifically for English learners. Audio exactly like this deep dive.
Exactly.
And once you find good audio, you need to use the right tools. So let's open up the practical toolkit from the guide.
Okay, let's do it. The very first tool is a specific listening strategy. When you find a good piece of audio, the guide says you must listen to it the first time without reading anything.
Wait, no reading at all?
No reading. Just sit back and listen with your ears. Your only goal for this first listen is to get the gist.
The gist. Let's explain that word slowly. The gist is just the big picture.
Right. The big picture.
It is the main idea of the story. You really don't need to worry about catching every single small word.
Yes. Think of it like watching a movie in a foreign language, but without any subtitles.
Oh, I love that example. If you watch a movie in a language you don't know very well, you might miss a lot of the actual dialogue.
You definitely will.
But you still know who the hero is, you know who the bad guy is, you know the main problem is, and you know if the ending is happy or sad.
Exactly.
That is the gist. You understand the feeling and the big picture.
You got it. Getting the gist is step one. It really builds your confidence. And then step two is using a very powerful tool. That tool is called a transcript.
A transcript. Okay, and transcript is simply the written text of the audio.
Yes, exactly.
It is every single word that we are saying right now, written down on a page for you to read.
Right. So after you listen the first time, just for the gist, you listen a second time. But the second time, you read the transcript while the audio plays.
So why is adding the reading part on the second try so helpful for the brain?
Because a transcript acts like a bridge for your mind. It connects the sound of the spoken word to the spelling of the written word.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. When you read and listen at the same time, you are doing something called following along.
Following along. That means you are tracking the words with your eyes at the exact same moment your ears are hearing them.
Yes. And the guide gives us a really great trick to help you follow along more easily. It is a speed hack.
Oh, the speed hack. This is so practical. Most audio apps on your mobile phone have a special button, right?
They do.
And this button lets you change how fast or how slow the audio plays.
Right. So when you start listening to a new audio session with your transcript, change the speed to 0.8 speed.
0.8 speed.
Yeah. This makes the voices slightly slower. It gives your eyes and your brain a little bit more time to connect the written words to the sounds.
And then, when 0.8 speed starts to feel too easy, you challenge yourself.
Yes, you push the speed back up to the normal 1.0 speed. You are slowly training your brain to process the language faster. Now, as we talk about reading transcripts and catching words, I know what a lot of learners might be feeling right now.
What's that?
Well, there is a lot of pressure to get it exactly right.
I have to be honest here. I completely understand that pressure. When I try to listen to someone speaking Spanish, which I am learning right now, if I miss just one single word, my brain completely freezes.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people.
I just panic. I stop listening to what they're saying next
Well,
because I'm so worried about that one word I missed. So how do you stop that from happening?
that is incredibly common. And the guide has a very strict rule for this exact problem. The rule is do not overthink it.
Overthinking. That means you are analyzing the grammar rules way too much in your head.
Yes, way too much.
You're thinking so hard about the structure that you forget to actually listen to the person.
Exactly. Overthinking paralyzes you. It makes you freeze, just like you said. Beginners often panic if they miss one word. But you must remember this important phrase. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
I'm going to repeat that slowly. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
It really is.
If you demand that every listening session is 100% perfect, you will never move forward. You will just stay stuck in the mud.
Exactly. Your goal is not to have perfect grammar. Your goal is communication.
Right.
Did you understand the message? Did you get the gist? If the answer is yes, then you are succeeding. Don't let one missing word ruin the whole story for you.
Okay, this is a really great foundation. We know how to listen now.
We do.
We start with the gist. We use transcripts as a bridge, we adjust the speed, and we refuse to panic over perfect grammar.
That's the plan.
But that naturally brings up the next big question. When and where should you actually be practicing all of this?
The guy has a very practical answer for this. The absolute best time to practice your listening is during your commute.
Your commute. Let's
Yeah.
define that. Your commute is your daily journey. It is the trip you take every single day to get to work, or maybe to get to university. Maybe you ride a crowded bus. Maybe you take a subway train, or maybe you just drive your car.
Yes, exactly. Usually, people think of their commute as dead time.
Dead time.
Yeah, it is just wasted time where you sit and wait to arrive. But if you put on your headphones and play an English audio session, you instantly turn that dead time into highly productive learning time.
Wait a minute, though. People usually think they need a very quiet place to study.
They do think that.
I mean, whenever I picture studying, I picture sitting in a silent library with absolutely no background noise.
Yeah.
Doesn't a busy bus or a loud train make it too hard to concentrate?
That is a very normal way to think, but the guide actually says the exact opposite.
Really?
Yes, noisy environments are actually fantastic for language learning.
Wow, okay. Why is a noisy bus a good place to learn English?
Because of the background noise, your brain has to work much harder.
Oh, I see.
Your auditory processing, which is the part of your brain that handles sound, has to actively fight through the noise of the bus engine and the people talking. It has to filter out the garbage noise to focus on the English words.
Oh, that makes sense. It is like lifting heavy weights at the gym.
Exactly like that.
Because the environment is difficult, your listening muscles actually get much stronger than they would in a silent room.
You nailed it. You are training your brain to focus. So if you listen on the bus, you are doing great. But now we really need to introduce the most important word in the entire guide.
The most important word.
Yes, this word is the real secret to success. The word is consistency.
Consistency. What does consistency actually look like in your daily life?
Consistency means doing the work regularly. It means making it a habit every single day.
Every day.
Yes. To understand why this matters, let me give you a bad example. Many people do something called binge studying.
Binge studying. Okay, let me explain that bad habit. That is when someone ignores their English all week and then they sit down and study for 6 long hours on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
And then they do nothing again until the next Sunday.
Right. And that is a terrible strategy for language learning. Do you know why? Because your brain physically cannot process 6 hours of new information all at once.
It's like trying to water a plant.
Oh, I like this.
If you pour a huge bucket of water on a plant all at once, most of the water just washes away into the dirt.
Right, it just washes away.
The plant can't drink it all, but if you give the plant a little bit of water every single day, it grows perfectly.
That is a perfect way to picture it. Your brain needs time to save the new words. When you sleep, your brain organizes what you learned.
Oh, I love that.
So if you study for just 15 to 20 minutes every day, you give your brain time to rest and actually save that information.
So 15 minutes on Monday, 15 minutes on Tuesday, 15 minutes on Wednesday. That daily habit is consistency. Language is a long journey. Small daily steps are always better than one exhausting run.
And 15 minutes a day is something everyone can find time for. To help you build this daily habit, the guide gives us another powerful concept. The concept is immersion.
Immersion. I love this idea. Immersion means completely surrounding yourself with the English language.
Yes, surrounding yourself.
You want to create a virtual English environment right inside your own home.
That is exactly right. In the past, people used to think that the only way to truly learn English was to buy an expensive plane ticket.
Oh, right.
They thought you had to travel to New York or move to London to be immersed in the language.
But today, you don't need an airplane. You can surround yourself with English right now for free.
You really cared.
You can change the language settings on your mobile phone so you read English every time you check a message. You can listen to English music while you are chopping vegetables for dinner.
Yes.
You can even put your phone on the bathroom counter and play an English audio session while you take a shower.
Exactly. You just fill the empty spaces of your daily life with the sounds of English. This is immersion. And this natural listening leads us to the final major idea in our deep dive today.
Right, because immersion gets the English language into your brain naturally.
Oh.
We have talked a lot about listening.
We have.
But there's a big difference between understanding a language with your ears and physically moving your mouth to speak it. So how do we build that bridge? How do you turn great listening into great speaking?
That is the ultimate goal for most learners. To achieve that, the guide introduces a very intense, very powerful exercise. It is a technique called shadowing.
Shadowing, like a dark shadow that follows you on the ground when you walk in the sun.
Exactly like that.
How did the shadowing technique actually work?
Here is how it works. First, you play a piece of English audio. Then you try to repeat exactly what the speaker is saying out loud.
Okay.
But here's the trick. You speak just 1 second after they speak.
Wait, so I don't listen to the whole sentence, pause the audio, and then repeat it.
No. You do not pause the audio. You do not wait for them to finish. You follow right behind them while they are still talking. You act like a human echo.
Let's actually show how this sounds. Let's do a quick demonstration for you listening right now.
Okay, good idea.
You say a sentence, and I will be your shadow. I will follow 1 second behind you.
Okay, ready? Here we go. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Exactly. That is shadowing. You follow the speaker like an echo.
Wow, that actually takes a lot of focus. It feels very challenging. What is the actual benefit of doing this human echo exercise?
It is challenging, but the benefits for your speaking are huge. When you shadow, it forces your mouth, your lips, and your tongue to move at the exact speed of a native speaker.
Oh, I see.
It trains the physical muscles in your face. Most importantly, it improves something called prosody.
Prosody. Let's explain prosody. It sounds like a complex word, but it is actually a beautiful concept.
Yes, prosody is simply the rhythm of the language.
Yeah.
It is the stress on certain words. It is the music of the language.
The music of the language.
Yeah, every language has its own unique song. Shadowing teaches you exactly where native speakers naturally take a pause to breathe. It teaches you which words they say very loudly and which words they whisper softly.
Okay, let me explain this with a really common experience. Shadowing is exactly like singing along to your favorite song on the radio in your car.
Yes, that is the perfect way to look at it.
When your favorite song comes on, you sing along with the singer. Even if you don't know every single lyric perfectly, you naturally copy the singer's rhythm.
Exactly.
Your voice goes up high when their voice goes up high. You copy their emotion. That is shadowing. You aren't just reading words on a page. You are singing the actual song of the English language.
You really are. You copy the music of the language until it feels completely natural in your own mouth. It connects your ears directly to your voice.
Well, we have explored some truly powerful tools today. This guide really changes how you think about learning. Let's quickly summarize the main takeaways for you so you can start using them right away.
Yes. First, we explored comprehensible input. You need to listen to English that you mostly understand, about 80 to 90%, so your brain can naturally guess the missing words from context.
Right. Remember, don't jump into the deep end of the pool with the fast daily news.
Second, we talked about consistency. Small, daily steps. Studying for 15 to 20 minutes every single day is much better for your brain than binge studying for 6 hours on a Sunday.
And third, we talked about immersion and shadowing. Surround yourself with English during your commute or while cooking, and when you want to practice speaking, act like a human echo.
Yes.
Shadow the audio to learn the natural rhythm and music of the language.
Now, the guide we read ends with a very specific challenge, and we want to pass this challenge directly to you. Are you ready to take action?
Here's your 7-day challenge. We want you to pick one piece of audio. It can be a short story, a news clip for learners, or even this very audio session that you are listening to right now.
Yes, pick something you like.
We want you to listen to it for 15 minutes every day for the next 7 days.
15 minutes a day for 7 days straight. No excuses.
You can do it while you ride the bus. You can do it while you make breakfast. Just build that daily habit of consistency.
And remember the practical tools we gave you today. You can always use transcripts to help your brain build that bridge between the sound and the spelling. Read the words while you hear them.
And please, most importantly, stop overthinking.
Yes, please stop.
Do not worry about being perfect. Do not freeze if you miss one word. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Just keep your ears open, try to catch the gist of the story, and let the language naturally flow into your mind.
Before we say goodbye today, there is one final thing we want you to think about. It connects back to that idea of deep immersion in your home.
Yes. We talked about creating a virtual English environment. We talked about listening so much that your brain naturally starts to fill in the blank spaces.
All right.
You listen in the shower. You listen on the loud, busy bus. You surround yourself completely.
It leaves you wondering, If you truly surround yourself with English all day long, in the background of your life,
How long will it take before the little voice inside your head, the actual language of your own private thoughts and your own dreams, naturally switches to English?
it is a fascinating thing to imagine, your own deep thoughts naturally speaking to you in a new language.
That is something for you to think about tonight before you go to sleep. Thank you so much for joining us for this audio session. You are taking great steps toward your goals. Keep practicing and don't give up.
Yes, keep listening, keep building that consistency every day. Goodbye and happy learning.
Goodbye. We will see you next time.